Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Tinfoil Tuesday. Today we happen to be having Tinfoil Tuesday on Wednesday. The rest of the week will be as normal. How are you all doing? I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. I hope you had a good Halloween. I hope you had a good start to your week the past 2 days. Sorry I haven't been here. I decided to take a long weekend before I got back to it. This month we're doing 2 patron-only live streams because I missed last month. It just slipped my mind, so I apologize for that. Other than that, yeah, we're just gonna do conspiracy stuff today, so it'll be fun. We're on a hype train, level 3 right now, 38% to level 3. If we get to level 5, we'll do all the tinfoil stuff. That'll be fun. In terms of the armor, make sure you get your bingo cards ready if you want to play Tinfoil Tuesday Bingo. Other than that, let's see what I missed. Baja Blast, my favorite chatter. Thanks for subscribing for 18 months, says, hey, that's a second baby. Their name is Ruth. You can choose the last name. Less. Their last name is Less. Ruth Less. Bittergrin, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Stromboli for Wi-Fi, thanks for 12 months at tier 1. Happy anniversary. Bittergrin with 100 bits says, don't let the hype die. Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting a sub. Bumble Homestead with 100 bits says, Tinfoil Wednesday. Did I see these? Speedy Yoshi links to a couple Twitter things. Oh god, where's the music? Where's the music? I swear to god, this extension to, Streamlabs I have is playing music randomly. So if music randomly starts, it's that. I'm not doing it intentionally. I gotta figure out how to remove it. Anyway, what was the link? Sorry, I missed it. Kyle Rittenhouse lawyer is going with an interesting strategy. Kyle Rittenhouse's trial opens with his lawyer saying the N-word twice in court. Oh no. Oh, he's probably gonna walk free because everything is garbage. What was this other one? Let me see. The crowd at that point believed Rittenhouse was an active shooter, according to the prosecutor. Moments after shooting Rosenbaum, Rittenhouse shot and killed Anthony Huber, 26, a protester from Silver Lake, Wisconsin, who was seen on bystander video hitting Rittenhouse with a skateboard. The defense attorney portrayed Rittenhouse as the victim, saying Huber was trying to separate the head from the body with the skateboard. Good fucking lord. Blackwing Hecate with 30 bits says, Hannah, yeah, I was worried I'd missed my weekly dose of conspiracies. Nick says, Winfoil Wednesday. Krizia, thanks for tier 2 for 15 months. Sure, Mike Marshall Stack, thanks for gifting a sub. Clava Faustna, thank you for 9 months with, I believe that's Prime, so that would be a stream baby. This stream baby's name is going to be Hans Hans Schnitzel. Birdie Strange, thanks for 9 months. That's a sub baby too. Shit. We gotta start getting some stream abortions around here. I'm running out of name ideas. This stream baby's name is Angela Anaconda. Ice Queen with 40 bits says, well, all 4 Democratic judicial candidates lost. The 4 Republicans up for retention were retained. Upside, people are pissed, so hopefully we can use this to get new leadership in the state party, and locally we won some school board races. Silver linings. Well, good luck. Simzoid, thanks for 6 months, says, this is a preemie baby, just like I was. It's a very preemie baby. 76% to level 5. Kirthan with 100 bits says, just had my dad explain to me today why he thinks blackface isn't that bad. Thanks, rural Kansas childhood. Oh, yikes. Bittergrin says, Wolframium for Foil Wednesday. Sure, close enough. 0M80, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. None of the subs have counted towards the sub goal so far. Lovely. Stormfox says, Call fucking took the bait. He made a video on Inside Job. I know, we're gonna watch it today. We're gonna watch it. Is my gain up? It sounds like I'm coming through louder than normal. I wonder why. Princess Amelia says, happy first anniversary of Donald Trump not getting reelected. Wasn't it the 4th last year? I guess I could be wrong. I thought it was the 4th. Mike Max says, have you seen Joe Rogan Australian satire ad yet got Ball to post this? I don't know what he posted this. I didn't see the ad he thought was real, though. I know that was the thing that happened. Blackwing Hackety says, did you hear about Squid Game crypto bullshit? No, I didn't. 94% to level 5. Pure Big Man Boatman, thanks for gifting a sub. Sky Comet Fallen says Tim Pool has COVID. Well, good luck. He's not vaccinated, is he? Genuinely don't know. Tucker White says, wait, your gay is up, Hannah? My gay is up. My gay is at an all-time high. 97%, we need 3 more %. Someone do a thing so we get 3 more %. We've reached maximum gay. True. Adafianus. Oh gosh, what is it? Adafianus, thank you for following. Princess Amelia says, thing with 30 bits. Bubble Homestead with 100 bits says a thing. Dregory Term gifts a sub. Kirthan gifts 5 subs. Pure Big Man Boatman gifts subs. DM Trey gifts a sub. All of which bring us to 19% of the level 5 hype train. So we did it. I'll start getting my tinfoil ready. Tinfoil. 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 Simzoid, thanks for gifting a sub. Actual Boomer, thanks for 8 months. Says 8 months of mostly lurking, still enjoying. Well, I'm glad you are. By the way, anyone, I don't know how many people are, lurkers who are regular viewers but just don't participate in chat. I appreciate all of you, too. I know, obviously, I talk to the people in chat because they're the ones who are being vocal. But if you just like what you see and you don't engage, I still appreciate your viewership. Thank you very much. Glad you get something out of the streams. Did I see the link you sent? What link was the one you sent? Hello, Mr. Blast. How are you? Where's the thumb hole on this thing? There it is. Blackwing Hackety says, we're a vocal minority! You sure are, chat. Ugh, Mike Max says she's lying. Send money. I mean, I appreciate when people send money, since this is my job. But it is by no means required by every individual person. Just as a group, so the show can continue. Tucker White says, so some Republicans, corporate, fuck one in Virginia by running on culture war bullshit in the same year where the Billy Bobs did an insurrection in the loosest sense. The Republicans still won just miles away. How are the Democrats this fucking inept? I don't know. They suck? Surprise? They're ineffectual and out of touch with actual working people and also buddy up to corporate interest? Shock? I don't know. Red Werewolf with a link says, I had a good Halloween, passed out candy in a fursuit, and confused and delighted a lot of kids. Let me take a look. Cute. Yeah, I was a witch. Baha and I were witches for Halloween. Pure Big Mad Boatman with bits says, Lurker here. Well, thank you for the bits. That's why you've gone full tanky. Probably don't do that. That'd be great. If you could not, that'd be awesome. Don't be a tanky. Tankies are the worst. Hannah for mayor. My first move as mayor is to abolish the rank of mayor. There's no more mayor, so saith the mayor. Long live the mayor. Joey is strong. Thanks for 100 bits. Sorry, I'm getting my tassels untangled. Joey is strong. Thanks for 100 bits. I don't know if I just said that, but I'm gonna repeat it just in case. These two are stuck together. These tassels haven't tasseled. Let me rip them so they tassel. They're tassels now. How lovely. Why am I like this? Oh, now where are my horns? Right here. Oh shit, there goes the round earth. That's a bummer. Guess the earth is flat now. Do my tassels tessellate? They do not. Okay. Bumble Homestead says sometimes listening to audio only is odd. I bet. Alright. Let's get to it, shall we? Now that I'm all shiny. We live in the darkest timeline. Oh god, what's this? Oh, the Garfield thing, yeah. Chris Pratt has been cast as Garfield. Jesus Christ. X Flowers for Brain says, I missed bits, sorry. X Flowers for Brain said, not sure if something is wrong with my computer, donated some bits, no message so you don't have to look back, but hopefully it got through. Well, thank you, I'm sorry. I must have missed the other ones as well. Crimson Omega, or Crimsy Omega says, hi, missed you while I was in the hospital. I hope you're doing better. Morok says, I estimate 3 more sessions until my Starfinder campaign is finished. The party has fought alien invaders from another dimension, and their evil plan to raise the dead for about a year now. They're level 11 and ready to storm the mothership to take the fight to the alien demigod. Fun. Alpaca Scent, thanks for 3 months. Alright, we're caught up. Earth isn't flat proof. It's the anime Earth with titties. Yes, I've seen it. Okay. We learned nothing from Bill Murray. Oh, is this live action?
have any regrets?
Garfield, maybe?
No, won't make 98.
Alright, let's see what we got. Let's start with something a little different. This is a brief VHS videotape from 1994, which warns of the mark of the beast. What is the mark of the beast in this case, you might add? Because we have people like Call for an Uprising and other people who are conspiracy theorists these days warning that they believe certain, let's call it preventative medicine, is secretly the mark of the beast. But this is not the first time the conspiratorially minded have decided that some random thing is the mark of the beast. Of course, prior to the jab, we had chips and credit cards, cell phones, and of course, the big one, the one that our video today is about, barcodes. Yep, just a few decades ago, Christians and conspiracy theorists alike were all wound up because they thought this newfangled thing, barcodes, was secretly the mark of the beast, destined to signal the end of times and the rise of the Antichrist. So let's learn about how evil barcodes are, shall we? I appreciate that they threw shade at modern, circa 1994, modern churches for not warning that price indicators on Pop-Tarts were the mark of the beast. Damn those 90s churches. If they ever do the cell slamming sound effect when text pops up, that's how you know something's for realsies.
The book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 18, tells us, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number."
Can you plug your Cash App, homeless and broke? Yeah, go for it.
666. Biblical scholars, who rarely agree on anything, do agree on the interpretation of this infamous number, 666, as an unmistakable reference to the Antichrist.
No, that's definitely untrue. Biblical scholars have different opinions on the mark of the beast and the interpretation of Revelation as to be interpreted as a rapture end times thing in the first place, so he's absolutely lying on that one.
Satan or the beast. But what?
Blackwing Hecate says, people who say Book of Revelation drives me up a wall. And Princess Amelia says, this is how you know he's a real Christian. He refers to the Book of Revelation as Book of Revelation.
Why, as the Bible suggests, does it take understanding to count a series of three identical numbers? Simply reading the numbers, 666, requires no wisdom. Therefore, 666 must be a kind of code, hidden from us, yet somehow demanding to be discovered. One of the goals of this presentation is to reveal, through a greater understanding of God's Word, one example, one worldwide example, of the way the number 666 and all that this number implies has found its way into our daily lives.
If anyone ever invents some device that's like the next iteration of like the cell phone, in the sense that it's like a device everyone carries all the time and they have access to information, let's say it's a part of your body, can you do me a favor and just like have the logo be a 666? I just think that'd be excellent, and fucking with these people is hilarious to me. So, like, if we could do more, that'd be great. Pure Big Mad Boatman says, what are the rules on bingo? Get your bingo card, which you can do in the chat by putting ! bingo. It should pop up with a link. 1 bingo card per person. Diagonal, horizontal, vertical's fine. We don't do 4 corners. Center space is free space. Everything is what the video says. If it mentions it, then it's on the bingo card. Unless it says, Hannah says something, then it's something I have to say. Tucker White says, here's a list of beast numbers. Let me take a look. 666, biblical number of the beast. 660, approximate number of the beast. DCLXVI, Roman numeral of the beast. 665, number of the beast's older brother. 667, number of the beast's younger sister. Oh. I assume a lot of these are clever jokes.
Let's begin by examining the language.
Blackwing Hecate says, he said it is plural, it's singular, it's one single revelation. Yeah, Book of Revelation.
This passage more closely.
Mike Mack says, I feel like Game Freak made their 666th Pokemon a butterfly for this dumb reason.
As we know, the language of the Bible contains multiple layers of meaning. The word count, as it's used here, implies much more than simple arithmetic. For if the number 666 is a code, then it must be studied and deciphered, or if you will, counted by those of us who have or seek understanding.
Wait, you think the guy who wrote the Book of Revelation in, like, Aramaic or Koine Greek, whatever the fuck it was at the time, you think they wrote a pun in English? What? The Bible, I don't know if you all know this. Fun fact, the Bible, not written in English. It's a translation. Modern English did not exist at the time that the Bible was written.
From the word counting, we can infer multiple thinking processes. Recognition and identification.
Infer is doing a lot of work here.
As in picking out similar items within a group. Enumerating, assigning a number and value to these items. And yes, simple arithmetic, adding the numbers to produce a result. So it's through counting, a deciphering process, that we are shown a path to greater understanding and the revelation of truth. Before going any further, let's be clear on one central point. We do not mean to suggest that the Universal Product Code, or UPC, is the mark of Satan, the mark of the beast. But through a process of research and discovery, we will present factual evidence that the groundwork for an Antichrist monetary system is being laid today.
Look, we're not saying that this barcode thing is the mark of the beast, but it's the mark of the beast prequel. Okay, cool.
And that the number 666 is one example of Revelation's prophecy coming true around the world and within your own home. Before we focus on the UPC
That's not
issue,
how science works? In what case? Why would it be that's not how science works?
a little background study is called
They weren't even talking about science.
for, specifically on the subject of the mark of the beast, revealed in chapter 13 of Revelations. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that...
I want to know who in this case is picking forehead. I never understood that. The mark either goes here or here. Clearly you choose hand. Who's putting their chip or whatever in their fucking forehead? Like, I'm not saying, I don't know. I do bangs specifically because I already have a forehead that's too big. I don't want to accentuate forehead, so I'm not coming at this, completely objectively. I have my opinions. But, at least if I have the mark of the beast here, I can just, I can still face accessorize. I feel like everything's drawing attention to the mark on your forehead if you get it there. I feel like that's a bad fashion choice. You're putting yourself in a very, very small box in terms of potential facial accessories after you get demon symbol on your forehead.
That no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Who is this second beast? Here Revelations refers to the false prophet, Satan's forerunner, endowed with power by Satan to perform horrific acts. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the
Phase,
earth
thanks
by
for
the
following.
means of those miracles which
Nick
he
Knack
had
No
power to
Knack,
do
thanks for
in
subscribing for
sight
4
of the
months.
first beast. Deception, miracles. The false prophet works with smoke and mirrors to create illusions that mask the truth. Look back to chapter 2 of Thessalonians. And the Antichrist deceives the whole world by Satan's power, signs, and lying wonders. We are shown a prophetic vision of the Antichrist in all his glory. A world of the future where Satan appears to be unstoppable. His very image depicted on TV, in magazines, newspapers, in public places, in your own homes. An image that speaks, demanding by his law that you bow and worship his image.
Oh, a cosmic being demanding you worship him? That sounds like a universally bad trait that you would hate in a cosmic being. I'm glad me and Christians can all agree that if any cosmic being demanded worship, that would be an evil, evil thing inherently, and no one should think that that being is good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Maps and Mimic says, I like the idea of the mark being RFID chips that you can do things like tap to pay with, and the visual of people tapping the card reader with their foreheads. Tucker White says, so Satan's power is to make it rain. Make it rain fire? We don't even need Satan for that. We do it to ourselves. True.
Antichrist of the future setting a stage today for those who would be deceived. The mark, the name, the number on your right hand or forehead. A chilling prophecy, especially frightening to those who would choose to live in the darkness of ignorance. Recall Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, when God says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Is Revelation's prophecy coming true today? The evidence seems to suggest it. In the final days of this world order, is there any doubt that our buying and selling system will be conducted with a mark, with credit transactions rather than cash?
You can get a debit card, or you can get cash if you want. It's just more convenient to have a card. Pay with a check if you're a boomer. It's fine.
Is it this path that leads to destruction? Revelation chapter 14 provides one answer. If any man or woman worships the beast and his image and receives his mark in their right, the day of a cashless society is fast approaching.
Smitty451, thanks for 3 months. Nick with 30 says, so lefty is okay then. Tucker White says, so if we get it in the left hand, we're okay? I guess so. The left hand is the devil's hand. I learned that. So, it's a really good thing that evangelical Christians in the 90s and 80s were really concerned about the future economic, concern of using the mark of the beast to pay instead of, I don't know, electing politicians that would have maybe disincentivized outsourcing all of their working class jobs. Just a thought. If they weren't so preoccupied with this bullshit, maybe they could, you know, not be devastated today with little opportunity and massive income inequality.
Approaching. Envision a world where cash transactions are virtually obsolete, where workers receive credits in place of dollars. If your job...
What do you think dollars are? They're literally a stand-in for, like, labor value. Currency is literally, in our society, saying, Someone did some amount of work for this. Like, what do you... It's a stand-in for value. It might be tied to something, the full, like, credit and confidence of the United States. But, like, practically speaking, we give it to people for doing stuff? Usually, unless you're just an investor class person. But, like, for your normal everyday person, it's you did a thing. Here is money. It's credit. You sold some of your time to someone to do labor. Now here is a piece of paper that says you did that so you can go get things you want or need. It's a credit. What do you think it is? Deadman XRPMX says, why are they always going off Revelations when it's the ravings of a drug-fueled dream? I don't know, maybe they only read the first and last chapters of the book. Blackwing Hecate says, Hannah, here, have 30 intergalactic credits. Fuck this guy. Thank you. Tucker White says, hell, workers receiving credits literally happened decades early. You ever heard of company towns? Kirathin says, fiat currency is satanic confirmed. Yeah, the Christians need more reason to be preppers and try and buy a bunch of gold and silver.
Job now pays you $5.35 an hour. That would translate to 5.35 hundredths of a credit an hour. A direct deposit system becomes mandatory for all payroll checks. Debit cards will replace credit cards. The very latest debit cards actually have a microcomputer chip built into them. Buying and selling transactions are done instantly. At the time of the transaction, when the card is scanned,
none of this is evil.
And the buyer's account is debited and the seller's account credited immediately. Can you see a connection between a debit card?
Yeah, I know that. I owe my soul to the company store, because I think they play it at the beginning of Joe versus the Volcano, when he's still working at the factory.
Card and the mark. Universal acceptance of the UPC is just one small example of our rapidly changing world economy. There is now new evidence to suggest that a marking system is being tested in new and different ways. In certain communities worldwide, there are eyewitness accounts of the mark seen on the hand and forehead being used today.
Well, someone said they saw it in 1994. It must be true. Logarth says, I mean, credit card companies are pretty evil, but not the same evil as this guy's talking about. Steve with a Q says, that's not how this works, actually. The seller's account is usually credited at the end of the day. Tucker White says, you know what this Christian probably unintentionally making a great argument for? Is this going to be the Soviet Union anthem? Yeah. It's definitely funny the 50th time you do it, for sure. Blackwing Hecate says, what does he think the difference between a debit card and a credit card is? I don't know. Because he's like, debit cards will replace credit cards, and it's like, well, what? They're different things. I have both credit cards and debit cards, and I consider them very different. A debit card is, what I use most of the time for everyday purchases, although it's not a bad idea to make certain purchases on your credit card and pay them off immediately to kind of maintain your credit score or get your credit scored up if you need to build credit history. But, like, a credit card's like, I don't know, an emergency, I don't have money, or I'm making a very large purchase that I can make on, like, 0 interest and pay over, 24 months or 12 months or something. You don't usually use credit cards the same as you use debit cards, and if you do, you probably have a lot of money or you're really financially irresponsible. Morok says, my grandparents used to live in a company town. We had to put insulation in the walls because the company didn't care. That's disgusting. Tucker White says, it's not really a matter of you finding it funny. It takes the Andy Kaufman approach. I'm here to entertain myself. Yeah, I'm sure you're entertained, and that's the most important thing. Mike Mack says, this reminds me of when I used to work in a supermarket and one of the cashiers told me that a lady refused an item because the code the cashier used had a 666 in it. Yeah, when I worked like a decade ago, long before the YouTube days, at McDonald's or whatever, there'd be people who their amount of money, and this was in a small town when Jake and I worked at this McDonald's, small farming community. If your total came up to like a 666 or something, they'd order something else or take something, off. So it wasn't $6.66. It was the dumbest. It was the absolute dumbest. Getting paranoid about a supernatural number for your fucking McDonald's meal. It's ridiculous.
To transact business. For the purposes of this study, we will focus on the number 666 and its use in the Universal Product Code. Remember, the first step in counting the number 666 in the Universal Product Code is recognition and identification. In this design, which is used on 95% of all store products, breaking the code requires counting 4 sets of numbers.
I don't know if no, produce, I guess. Other than produce, I don't know if I've ever seen a product in a store that doesn't have a UPC code in my life. Like fresh produce. Even now, they can, some of the ones will print labels off for you, I guess, after you weigh them. Back in when I was younger, though, you just wrote down the number, but sometimes they'll print out labels now after you weigh them. I don't know. Dumnog, thanks for following.
Our example here is an actual UPC taken from a grocery store package. Set number 1 represents the beginning, middle, and ending bar sets. Notice that, unlike the other bar sets, no numeral appears underneath them.
Mr. Blast would like you to show the picture Broha Blast sent. Let me look. Let me check my phone. Yes, I see. So, Baja's brother, Broha Blast, he runs a eBay store. So this is really interesting, by the way. And he also like collects and resells antique and vintage books. So one that he just sent is Mark of the Beast by Peter S. Ruckman from 1969. This is pretty interesting. Oh, I don't know how well this is going to show. I might have to turn the light off on this. Hold on, let me turn the brightness down on the screen. It's probably too bright. Mark of the Beast. Let me see. There's an internal picture, too. Name, rank, serial number. Today, everyone has a number. Oh, it looks like maybe it's a fiction book about end times. It says, today everyone has a number, or more properly, numbers. I've got your number is no longer an idle remark. People have telephone numbers, the letters HE, GL, GA, etc. being recently replaced by 3-digit numbers, 433, 5869, 476, 2749, street numbers. Oh, maybe it's not. This isn't fiction. This is just talking about... Okay. No, it is just a book about them genuinely trying to talk about the mark of the fucking beast. That's hilarious. Dr. White says, class, it's time for a crash course on UPC codes. No, I'm not playing Drawn Together. I fucking hate Drawn Together. I am so confused what this picture means. Let me go to the bigger picture. This is from the book again. The Great 20th Century Hoax, and it's a giant skeleton labeled as science holding a Darwin textbook. Punching religion or something? I don't know. It's interesting, though. Huh. Oh no, this is the author? The author was an avowed racist who once said that he would have joined the KKK had they not been anti-Semitic because he agreed with everything else they say. Oh no! Well, that's not good. Anyway, back to the video. It's almost like crazy people are crazy all around. It doesn't normally selectively just be about one thing. Weird.
There is a reason for this that we'll get to soon. The second set of numbers can be thought of as a category number. It tells the computer where the item is located in the computer banks, so it can process the item scanned. The number is found in the next set of bars, toward the middle, on either side. Remember, this is a separate number unto itself. The third set represents the manufacturer's identification number. All products under a given company's name will carry the same number. In the set
Ashyboo says someone did a transphobia in chat and you didn't see it, but I'm giving you bits anyway to piss them off. Love you, Hannah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't see it a lot of the time. Usually they get banned before I see anything, which is fun.
Position. Once the manufacturer...
Princess Amelia says, this is just educational so far. Am I supposed to be scared? Yes, you're supposed to be very scared that numbers on a barcode are going to lead to an eternally loving God sending you to hell because you used barcodes. Which makes him the good guy, by the way.
His ID is tabulated. The scanner looks to the right side of the code for the fourth set of numbers. This is the item number. Once the computer scans this number, it has recorded everything about the item and its history, including its price. The scan is complete and, in a matter of microseconds, the transaction made. We have broken the UPC down into its component parts, the first step in the counting process. Now we can examine how these parts are translated into single-digit numerals. Each UPC code uses 2 bar sets.
One sec. Broha sent me another picture. 3-dimensional television receiving the kiss of 666. Oh, God. He says he'll bring it next time he comes over, which is great. It's just New World Order bullshit, basically. It's very interesting, though.
Set number 1 translates into the numbers 0 through 9 and is used only on the left side of the UPC code. Look at the small 0 beside the 2 number 1s. Now look at the 2 bars above the 0. This bar set represents the number 0.
We understand. The bars mean numbers.
5 bold numbers, 1, 1, 2, 3, 0, then at bar set number 1. Examine how each of the numerals corresponds to a given bar set. Set number 2. A distinctly different set of bar designs also translates into the numbers 0 through 9, but is used...
Are you up here?
Yeah.
Did you happen to see I got a package?
Yeah.
Did you bring it in?
No.
Could you?
Yes.
Thank you.
What is it?
Movie? Zzz. Yeah. Tea with Goblin says, good morning, Hannah. I missed you yesterday. I hope you're okay. Settles in to enjoy the tinfoil fuckery. Yeah, I'm good. I just wanted to take a couple days off at the beginning of the month. I usually do anyway. So. Drumbully for Wi-Fi says, anyone here seen evangelists fear-mongering about VR porn, asking for a friend who's still afraid of hell? Hey, go get your VR helmet from Facebook, and they will track your VR porn activities. Go do it.
She did a fart.
Only on the
I can smell it. It smells bad. Cass, your insides are a nightmare.
right side of the UPC design.
It's okay.
Look at the numbers
We love
80101
Hydrate.
We love you,
and
Sturgy
follow the
Girl.
lines drawn from the numbers in bar set number 2 to the UPC below. Remember, UPC scanners first look for a string of numbers before the scan can begin. We are seeing 4
Your father
sets of
says hello.
numbers,
Hello,
but the first set
Father.
is always the same
I love
number.
you.
It never changes.
Tell
It's
Logan
always
that I
there.
say I love
that
him
number
too.
is 666. This UPC design with 5 bold numbers on either side appears on 95% of all supermarket products. Other designs are also used, some with hyphens between numbers, but 666 appears on all of them.
They're just used to break up the barcode and show the scanner where the ends of the barcode are. This is not hard to understand. Blackwing Hackety says, does this guy have a point somewhere? Yes, the point is 666 is bad, and it's present in every barcode, and therefore Satan.
I found the transphobe in chat and banned them.
Oh, thank you.
The UPC codes on the products you have at home. You will quickly see that the number 6, derived from the second bar set, is used at the beginning, middle, and end of your sample UPC.
You can get back up on the chair.
Are all barcodes UPCs? Not necessarily. Inventory control codes, for example, do not use 666. And the reason is simple. Inventory control does not directly involve
that does not count as me
buying and
blasting.
selling.
I didn't blast
Remember,
anyone.
looks can be deceiving. You can use this decoding process on virtually any product sold today. Learn to count the number 666 and teach the method to your friends. Then inform as many people as you can. Family, friends.
They're asking if they had seen your engagement ring. I don't know if you'd shown them. I don't think you're wearing it right now.
I did show them, but I'm not wearing it. I could
Even
go
your
get it, though.
skeptical next door neighbor. Help them increase their awareness of the Antichrist system. Help them protect themselves from deception. Chapter 4, verse 6 of Hosea sums it up best.
Jesus Christ. So you get it. The call for an uprising types are not new. They're just angrier. Stormfox says, I worked at a grocery store for 5 years, and people that work, they don't pay this much attention. We barely read the full code. I worked, and I never had to read the code at all. I just scanned it. Actually, I like if it wouldn't read it for some reason, you had to type it in, but that was very rare. Blackwing Hackety says, oh, it's a system now. Does it slice, dice, julienne fries? Oh, you meant Hannah? I believe I did show a ring, but perhaps Baja will bring both. I don't know. What are we going to watch next?
I brought your package in.
Thank you.
I also unlocked the Back to the Future time machine car in the Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay. So this one's Hannah's. 1 second, I want to show the camera.
Hold on, let me switch the camera. So it's the bigger one. You're probably going to have to turn the light off.
Okay. Yeah. Nope. Focus on the ring.
Hold on, let me get my face out. It wants to detect faces.
Yeah. Come on, fam. It's an amethyst with 2 accent diamonds. Thank you. And then mine is it's an opal. Can't really see the nice coloring that it has, and then it has accent diamonds too. We both got them, so I ordered both of the rings from the same place. They're like custom made. So they're like similar enough because they're designed by the same person. And then, but different.
Blackwing Hackety asks, is it a lab-grown opal?
I don't know. I know they're lab-grown diamonds.
Do call for an uprising later.
It's fucking hot.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm actually not warm. That's interesting. Normally I get really hot.
No, I'm always hot.
I'm hot when I wear this usually, and I'm not right now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm burning up.
You can turn the heat down if you want, if it's on. I don't know. 74 Quinn 74 says, so beautiful. I'm so happy for you. I'm planning on an amethyst ring for my partner. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Did you ever bring that package, actually? I wanted to show what it was, because it's cool.
They're movies.
Huh?
Okay. Yes.
Morak says, ladies, y'all both hot. It's fine. Alright, once I get that and open it up, then we will continue with the tinfoil. Call has a new video. Peter has a couple new things. Thought we'd watch a video from Hans. Someone believes Squid Game is real. That's always fun. Did you miss CC? No, there's no new CC. I'm sorry. He's been posting less lately. I have a feeling he's about to lose his job, so he might be depressed. Herethan says, why are you guys and my wife and I the same couple? I have EDS, she's trans and has ADHD, and we both got the same stones respectively for our engagement rings. You're our doppelgangers, clearly. We're using you to have for spare organs in case we ever need them.
Ew, that's not very vegan. I opened it for you.
Thank you. Okay, so I got movies for my collection. We'll talk about the QAnon thing in a sec. First of all, I'm sure Baja will be very excited for the complete Leprechaun collection, because I know she's so thrilled to see the Leprechaun films.
Don't want.
Well, then I will enjoy Warwick Davis's performances all on my own. Okay. Blackwing Hecate says, I'm Hannah, trans ADHD likes purple. Where's my Baja? You'll find her. She's out there. Or where they... Narnia the Owl asks, or wear they the blueprint for your skin suits? No, the skin suits come custom ordered. They're very expensive. They're like fursuits, okay? Okay. This one's rad as shit.
Human version of furry. Like...
Fleshy?
Fleshy. Oh, I hate that.
This one's rad. This is the Universal Classic Monster Collection. This is all 30 Universal Monster films from Dracula to The Creature Walks Among Us from 1931 to 1956. It's every single classic Universal Monsters movie.
Nice.
Yes.
My dad apparently has that.
Neat. Favorite classic movie monster? Frankenstein's monster, or Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman. But they all come on I thought this was great. They all come in separate packages, so this is all the Dracula movies. This has Dracula, Dracula's daughter, son of Dracula, House of Dracula. Or no, sorry, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Frankenstein has Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Some of them are duplicates because these are separate, but they put them all in one package, so there's duplicates on some of them. The Mummy, The Mummy's Hand, The Mummy's Tomb, The Mummy's Cursed, The Mummy's Ghost, Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy. Wolfman, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, Werewolf of London, She-Wolf of London. Invisible Man Returns, Invisible Woman, Invisible Agent, Invisible Man's Revenge, Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Revenge of the Creature Walks Among Us. And then this comes with the Phantom of the Opera.
I just love you.
I love you too.
Are those Blu-ray or are they 4
These are just Blu-rays. But they have cool, clear cases.
I was wondering if they were like glow in the dark.
I
know they're just supposed to be like in theme of black and white, but it'd be cool if they were glow in the dark.
Agreed. Morok says, I have the Universal Monster Collection. Good choice. I'm fond of Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know why. It's not great, but nostalgia, I guess. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, my cousin, who has 3 teenage sons and a wife that doesn't work, has worked for 20 years in the same job, will soon be quitting his job because of the vaccine mandate.
God.
I texted him and called him a dumbass, said a failure as a father, and blocked him. I'm so done with this anti-vax shit. Oof. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. I'm sorry that they're being like that. That's a shame.
I'm gonna make some yummy gnocchi for dinner. Do you want?
What's gnocchi?
You don't know what gnocchi is?
No?
It's like potato. It's like potato pasta kind of. They're like little gnocchis.
How do I spell it?
Gnocchi.
What do you put on it?
I'm gonna saute them with a bunch, like some vegan butter and herbs, and then probably some marinara sauce.
Okay. Sounds good. I will gladly take some. Thank you.
Better.
And of course the Leprechaun franchise. Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in Space, Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun Back to the Hood, and Leprechaun Origins. Which, who cares about Leprechaun Origins?
Chaotic Vega, I do like pesto, but I don't have any basil right now to make vegan pesto.
Maps and Mimic says, sounds like it'll slap, Baha. It does. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this open. I can do it! Boo. It's so nice when they come from Amazon. I collect movies. I have over 500 movies now.
You missed some bits.
Sorry, Blackwing Hecate, let me go to your bits. Blackwing Hecate said... reminds me I need to get Mother on Blu-ray. Yeah, I liked that movie.
Okay, I have basil in the house, but it's dried basil. I don't have any fresh basil. I literally had some in my hand when we were at the farm market the other day, and I should have bought it. It was on sale, and it was, like, good. It was the not organic stuff. I fucking hate organic basil, and I should have gotten it, but I didn't.
Oh, this is good, though. I'm always concerned when I order stuff from Amazon it's going to come in damaged, but it didn't. It's pristine! They put it in a box, and not just one of their mailers, which is...
Yeah, it was in a box, and it had
bubble
wrap
things. This one's okay. It's a little weird, but it's fine.
Absolutely not. Basil is the proper way to say it.
Did someone say it's basil?
I don't know. I don't know how Pseudo-Sapien says it, since they're a Brit.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced basil in Britain.
That's disturbing.
Teeth Goblin says, I think I have the same collection. The Bride of Frankenstein is my favorite film ever. It's camp as a row of tents, directed by James Whale, who was openly gay in the 30s. It set the tone for a lot of queer coding in classic films. Crimson Omega says, this day is better because you're streaming. I love you, Hannah. Oh, thank you.
Alright. Take a plane over here and fight me then. At least I don't say aluminium.
All those wasted syllables.
I will say, you guys do spell gray the correct way. We spell it bad.
vitamin. Strumboy for Wi-Fi says vegan Satanists worship basil bub.
That's funny.
Okay, let's see what we're doing next. Probably Hans. Let me see, I got another text. Hold on. Yep. Same
Nice.
one. Okay, let's do some Hans. Hans Wormhat has a video. Guess what? This one's about gorillas again. He still doesn't think gorillas are real, so.
Also, I want to say, if anybody ever looks up the reason why the U.S. and Canada say Z instead of Z, it's actually a really interesting story. So, go for it. Look it up.
Tea with Goblin says, as an Australian, we generally pronounce basil as cunt, and Thrashmeo says, aluminium makes more sense unless you want to say titanium, or titanum and uranum. You know what? I do. I'm gonna say that from now on. Titanum, uranum. Anyway. Okay, so let's do Hans. Hans, as we all know, believes animals aren't real unless he sees them in person and not in a zoo, because he thinks zoo animals are people in suits or animatronics. So let's see some of his new evidence.
Hans Wormhat. I just want to show this clip from a children's show, and also another clip that somebody sent to me. Gorillas are a huge deception. Just the great apes are all fursuits, and they're actors in fursuits. Check this out.
Excuse me, ma'am.
It's making me anxious. Please stop. I can
also
feel it.
anxious.
Hello? Jonathan, this is not a good time. Angelica's having a bad meeting. Mrs.
Hans has
Pickles.
always thought gorillas are fake.
Yeah. Felix Night Owl says, Hannah, you're an, great person.
What do you mean they won't let us have the gorilla?
Has he never witnessed a live gorilla? He thinks gorillas are people in suits. Have I been doing that? Has it been so long since I've covered Hans's shit that people are in my chat and don't know about Hans? Hans believes gorillas are people in suits.
Doesn't he think, like, the only animal that's real is, like, squirrels?
Squirrels are on the list of real animals because he sees squirrels day to day in his everyday life. Not in a zoo. Narnandia Owl says, at this point, it would be easier if Hans made a video about animals he actually considers real. Yeah. He doesn't believe in kangaroos. He doesn't believe in koalas.
Of course we'd take good care of it. You're getting a gorilla? I lived with them in Africa for 3 years.
So we got the unnecessary 3 too,
Having
but
a bad
you saw the
meeting.
hand signs, right? There were
Mrs.
2 hand signs.
Pickles. What do you mean they won't let us have the gorilla? Of course we...
Right when they say gorilla, look at those hand signs, the triad claw.
That's some extreme attention to detail to an animated character's hand positions.
We take good care of it. You're getting a gorilla? I lived with them in Africa.
And then, of course, the devil horns when this
Spurious symbology is evidence.
person is saying that they lived with the gorillas in Africa for 3 years. They hold double devil horns up. And cartoons are just a huge example of people throwing hand signs left and right, and especially back in...
Blackwing Hecate says, wait, this is actually part of the video? I thought someone had sent this to you as part of a joke. No. Rugrats is clearly part of the conspiracy.
in the day when cartoons had to be drawn by hand, and each frame they would actually draw it. Well, they spent a lot of time focusing on what the hands of these characters would do. And I think this is part of how people learn what the different signs mean. I think that it's a big thing when you're talking about a satanic deception, throwing up your devil horns. And I've seen people do this in day-to-day stuff For example, my brother will...
Yeah, they're just fucking around. This, like, means, like, rock on, woo! Oh, this feels good with the tassel-y arms. Yes, the tassels make this a million times better. Oh my god, I need to start wearing tassels so I can casually do this all the time. It feels so right. Woo! Just means, like, rock on. I don't know. Narnandia Owl says, real life stuff is faked with fursuits and CGI, but cartoons tell the truth. Sure thing.
Will be reciting some story, and I look at his hands, and they're positioned showing off devil horns. And it's like, why are you holding your hands like that as you tell a story? I mean, at that point, I just stop listening to them and whatever. But yeah, you're surrounded by people that speak with their hand signs. And it's talking about gorillas. Now,
gesticulating is the work of the devil, as we all know. Stephen J. Neptune Man says, wait, this video and the barcode videos aren't parody? No, unfortunately.
Somebody sent me this, and it's because how silly they look. You can tell that they're actors in fursuits. When you know the secret, it's like knowing the magician's secret. It's more obvious.
Yeah, when you speed up footage of animals, it looks unnatural. Because you sped up the footage to make them look weird. Blackwing Hecate says, people who speak with their hand signs, aka Italians. Today I learned I am Italian. Fuck Chris Pratt. Hire me to play Mario. It's a me. A Mario.
That's a bad one. Okay, those noises were pretty annoying, but I'll play it one more time.
Just dropped in, are we doing Hans? You see gorillas on screen, so yes, we're doing Hans.
Okay, and very well...
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Hans, but, chimpanzees, bonobos, our closest relatives aren't bipedal. At least, you know, they haven't evolved to be bipedal. So when they try and walk on two legs, it looks funny and waddly because their anatomy isn't really built for bipedal motion. It's built for quadrupedal walking with your arms on the ground. So if they do get up on two legs, which quadrupedal animals can do, I'm sure some of you have seen videos of cats doing it occasionally, as like a weird thing. It's not necessarily physically impossible, especially for something like a chimpanzee, but it's unnatural, or a gorilla, or whatever. It's uncomfortable and is not the most graceful thing in the universe. Didn't he just play it 3 times? He did. X-Files theme plays. Do, 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 do.
Trained because they're actors inside of fursuits. They have that little entrance door, exit door that they're always going to be coming in and out of at the right time, and they never try to escape. And they're always putting on a show because they're actors. Tourism, our prized tourism gem, the gorillas. I liked this. Have since March been reproducing as if they have a timeline to adhere to. Yeah, they do have timelines to adhere to. These are just fursuits, and the baby...
If any furries want a job at your local zoo, apparently Hans believes if you're a furry, you can just go get a job being a ape all day, which is basically what I spend all my time doing anyway. So, brush off the resume, and I guess, get out there. Good luck. Ice Queen says, I'd accuse Hans of getting this from Jamie Johnson's video, quote, playing the part, where there's a dude in a gorilla suit throughout, and it turns out it's Matthew McConaughey in the suit. It's a great video if you like actual non-pop country. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Alright. Logarth says, as a furry, no. Blackwing Hecate says, can I get a job being a hilariously massive red panda? Yeah, sure. We'll put you far away from the window that they look through. Felix Night Owl says they lack the inline big toe. Humans got that when they moved to the savannas. No need to climb trees, and the need to run faster across a flat plain made our toe go in line. Isn't evolution fun? Yeah.
Babies are just really realistic looking puppets. Little.
Where do you get your ape application? You can pick up your ape-lication at your local zoo. Okay.
You know those baby dolls that they sell that are really realistic looking, and they'll even go out of their way to put heating elements and a little breathing mechanism into these lifelike baby dolls. It's the same thing with the baby gorillas. It's just a lifelike little animatronic doll that they mostly just attach. They're just physically attached to the fursuit.
If you handed Hans Wormhat a ape baby, how would he justify that, do you think? If you said to this man, you can do whatever you want to investigate this ape baby, and you hand him the ape baby, and he tears this living, breathing animal baby apart, do you think at any point he would realize he was wrong, or would he just be like, wow, this is a really good and bloody animatronic? They made this thing look just like a real living thing. Stone Corbell says, if you haven't said application, I would have.
Anyways, what I want to talk about.
Morok says, actors, and then there's a link.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've seen that. Grey Dutch, thanks for 18 months, says, our second baby, it is an ape baby. Then this baby's name is Zira. One word. Like Madonna. Zira.
About here is how they're fake animals.
How does he know, or how he found out squirrels are real? Wait, is that how he found out squirrels are real? No, it's because he sees squirrels outside in the environment every day. He sees them, like, in his yard and stuff, so he thinks they're real.
Media sensation animals will always be present in the media around these hoaxes. I always refer back to the Australian wildfires. If you paid attention to the media, you would think that the only animal that's being affected by the wildfires are the koalas. It's like, do any other animals live in Australia besides the koalas?
Okay, the environment of the koala bear is the eucalyptus tree, and I don't just mean the forest, I mean specifically the eucalyptus trees themselves. They spend most of their time in the trees, they're slow, they can't really get around easily. So other animals, let's say a kangaroo, if we're going for stereotypically Australian animals, which I don't even know if they're in the region that the fires were having. I don't know, that kind of thing. Kangaroos can fuck off rather quickly. They can, bounce away. Koalas can't. Koalas are basically stuck wherever they are. So if a fire goes through an area with koalas, all those koalas are dead. Koalas are idiots. So that's why they got coverage, would be my guess. Narnia, nope, read that one, sorry. Blackwing Hecate says, has someone explained the concept of a mating season to this grown-ass human? Speak the Truth says, cue SpongeBob mean. Ah, a real gorilla. Princess Amelia says, if Hans thinks crows are people in suits too, then I have a question. Many questions. Important questions. Blackwing Hecate says, kangaroos aren't evolutionary dead ends that eat something that gives them no nutrition. Koalas are doing their best, okay? Fecal pap is their best. For those who don't know. Koalas eat eucalyptus leaves, but they are so stupid that if you take a eucalyptus leaf off of the tree, they no longer recognize it as food. And baby koalas can't eat full eucalyptus because it's poison. So instead they have to eat what's called fecal pap, which is basically pseudo shit that their parent poops out, and they eat partially digested eucalyptus shit, basically. Anyway, Mike Mack says, so hasn't he traveled to Africa yet? I mean, probably expense. And he has no interest. He doesn't think animals are real, so.
Koala that's supposed to be endangered. I mean, I'm sure that's why they would tell you. Oh, well, that's the media story because they're this endangered animal. But you never see stories about talking about how the fires are killing all the squirrels or whatever. I'm not familiar with Australian wildlife.
No, really. Blackwing Hecate says, also, Africa has brown people. I don't know if Hans is racist. I don't know.
Because all we get is the BS.
Squirrels can run away. True.
Yes, all they talk about is koalas. And, of course...
He's very obsessed with squirrels. I don't know why. It's just the only animal he thinks is real. Probably a Lannister says, but what is the actual endgame of the governments of the world lying to us about animals? I don't know. He's also a flat earther, so they're just evil. Morok says, I have an Australian friend who is obsessed with squirrels because they don't live there.
Kangaroos. I saw a few kangaroo stories here and there for the wildfires, but 9 times out of 10, it was some plushy, really obvious plushy koala and some sob story. And now with this, with the virus story of this year, I've seen so many stories about orangutans, chimpanzees, and gorillas. You don't see stories about squirrels potentially getting it or skunks potentially getting it. They had that story about the pangolins.
Do you understand? Again, I don't know anything about, like, other apes being susceptible to COVID. I really don't. But, like, they're our closest relatives in terms of non-human animals. If any animal is going to be susceptible to a human disease, it's probably going to be apes. Ice Queen says, okay, my friends, I have to wander to eat and do other things. Everyone have a great whatever it is for you where you see hear this. Live long and prosper, peace and long life. Blackwing Hecate says, this makes me miss my childhood toy that was a stuffed koala, and I lost by leaving him on a bus. Miss you, Teddy. Oh. Hats off. I'm gonna reject that just because it's Tinfoil Day, so I'm already wearing so much stuff. Save that for a day that is not Tinfoil Tuesday.
And that's another fake media animal. So they just love to get their fake animals in it. I didn't check, but I bet there's some panda stories. I bet there's some panda corona stories out there. But anyways, history has it that totally an appeal to history. You'll see this sometimes where instead of telling you that something is fact, they'll say like this, it'll be like an appeal to history. Well, history has it that the first European to track gorillas in Africa, his story, a French man called Paul Baloney. It's a bunch of baloney. This was before the scramble for Africa, who in his writing...
So not even how you spell baloney. Hans, they say history has it at the beginning because they're talking about a historical event. Sky Comet Fallen says, speaking of squirrels that keep trying to eat my jack-o'-lantern every Halloween, before I can carve them, it's pissing me off. I'm sorry. Don't leave their food outside. They're gonna eat the pumpkins. Tea with Goblin says, also during the 2019 bushfires, we lost about 1 billion wild animals. Koalas get the publicity because they're cute and cuddly. We lost a lot of frogs, reptiles, birds, and mammals that were crucial to the ecosystem. There won't be any more major bushfires for a while because there's nothing left to burn, thus justifying cutting funds to sustainable ecology projects and local firefighters. Please pass the vodka. The next couple hundred years are going to be interesting for the people who have to live it. Logarth says, Iowa deer have been found with a zoonotic form of COVID, so can't wait for those mutations. Yay! Blackwing Hecate says, I don't think your signs are susceptible to COVID. Your signs. Thank you.
writing paints a picture of the primate in a hilly landscape and thick vegetation. Okay. And old depictions of gorillas clearly look different because it's just a fake animal, and people...
They drew them from memory, you dumb asshole! Do you think they stood there and were like, yes, I will get the essence of this gorilla? They either saw it and then drew it later, or literally had to listen to people who had seen them and just off of their description draw it. Blackwing Hecate says, fancy word for bears. Gotcha.
People have always been making up stories. Oh, I went to Africa and I saw this furry human beast in the woods. People have always been making up stories. It's just that nowadays they have much more tech that they can use to deceive people. Back in the day, all you could do is write a book about it and maybe draw a picture or two to try to convince people of your crazy stories. Come up with a taxidermy hoax, like the platypus. But this is what people do. Think about people that lie about the size fish that they catch. These types of people have always existed, and they go to Africa. Half of them probably never even go to Africa. They just hide out in the city for a month, put on a fake disguise, and pretend to be another person for a month. And then, they came back and, work on a few papier-mâché art projects in your house discreetly, and then come back and say that you left to distant lands and tell people all the things that you saw.
Colonial imperialism didn't happen because Hans doesn't think gorillas don't exist. Or because Hans thinks gorillas don't exist. Narnandia Owl says if he knew anything about the early photograph or photography, he'd understand taking pictures of anything doesn't stand completely still was pretty much impossible too. Yep.
You draw a picture like this. My first gorilla. Anyways, looks like Bigfoot, right? This could have easily been Buindi, impenetrable forest in southwestern Uganda, 331 kilometers away. And the writing, they so often use childish, sexual imagery. It is endowed. Who uses...
Does he believe Africa actually exists? I believe so, yes.
The word endowed in a situation like this? It is endowed.
Does he believe Bigfoot exists? That's a good question. I don't remember.
With half the world's surviving mountain gorillas. There's no such thing as mountain gorillas. They are actors in fursuits. That's why you can go to these places and go on a nature walk and see gorillas every time. Because it's an act. You're watching gorilla actors every time. Everybody who goes and buys a little ticket to go see the gorillas, guess what? You're going to see the gorillas. Because they're fursuits. And high up Illuminati people, they know it's all a show, but they love to shell out the money to go be a part of it and to take some duping delight.
Speak the Truth 16 says, do you think that the idea of a Bigfoot came from the fact that most continents have some form of primates? I don't know enough about Bigfoot or Sasquatch myths to even make a hypothesis. I really don't know what Bigfoot believers think. I haven't seen a ton of material on it, so I don't know.
Light pictures and show it to unsuspecting people. Keep hands off the little bundles. Do not eat.
Blackwing Hecate with 30 bits says, does he believe Bigfoot is Cain and Abel fame? Why do you say that?
Their presence because your hot dog is 33. Somebody's told me. I have yet to check it out for myself, but I'm gonna put that out there. Burger or Rolex might be grabbed. Some cannot resist the urge to taste your bottle of Ugandi Waragi, which I'm guessing is some sort of alcoholic beverage, or mineral water. Or what about smoking cigs? There are so many videos of these actors in fursuits smoking cigs through their fursuit. And if you go look at the third world...
I'm pretty sure based on how much fursuits cost, if someone was wearing a fursuit, they would not be smoking in it. Blackwing Hecate says Mormons believe that. Oh, God.
Zoos, it's like way worse quality fursuits. I've looked at some footage of Indian chimpanzees, and they look so run down, and I can see a huge seam up the back of the costume, and...
Their spine?
They look mangy.
Wild animals looking mangy? That's insanity. Get that fake shit out of here.
And they're campier. They do stuff like smoke cigarettes and things at the third world zoos. After the 1 hour spent in the company of gorillas that are usually seen in movies or documentaries,
What does he think are, like, I guess he thinks animatronics. I was gonna say, because they're, like, we're not talking about apes at this point, but, like, monkeys. They're monkeys that are tiny, you know, that do monkey stuff. Logarth says, as a furry, yes, people smoke in fursuits all the time. Hotboxing a fursuit head is a thing I've done several times. See, that seems like it would stink up the suit.
Do you get the mocking?
Hydrate.
A tracker takes home a certificate. Oh, you get a certificate. I saw a certified gorilla. Man, the bad news. During the pandemic, sadly, a silverback called Rafik was killed in Bwindi by a poacher. All of these poacher stories are just sob stories to get you to emotionally connect to a fursuit. The poacher was tried and is serving a 10-year. I bet you these people just don't even exist. They just come up with these fake, just a fake person. The first is the Waterfall Trail.
Tea with Goblins says, on the subject of Bigfoot, I bought this shirt last year. Money wisely spent. Queer for cryptids. That's a pretty good shirt. Hold on. I could get it. Ooh. Okay, maybe I'll get that later.
Is more of that language. Earlier, it was something being endowed. Now we have waterfall trails climaxing at a 33-meter wall.
How many people in the comments actually believe him? Most of Hans's audience believes him.
Waterfall.
Blackwing Hecate says, this is serious. How can we see our eyes if they aren't real energy? Yep.
It just... They are taking the piss. It leaves many perspiring with labored breathing. Are you kidding me? Is this real life right now? Do you see that you are being mocked by a bunch of children that are liars, part of an Orange 33 club? I love this too. The whole thing ended with, when shooting images, keep the flash off. Please, no flash photography. Something about...
Yes, because they don't want you to scare the gorillas with the flash.
About that, just
That's pretty common for any animal ever. If you're taking photography of them, you want to be careful with that kind of stuff.
It was really funny. Primatologists work to keep great apes safe from whatever, you know, the thing. And it's, like I mentioned earlier, they're never going to run stories about real animals. Oh, what about the deer population with all these wildfires? No, they're going to talk endlessly about...
There aren't deer, at least not the kind of deer we have in North America, in Australia. I don't know if there's any kind of deer in Australia. I have no idea. But if there are, deer can get away better than koalas.
Koalas and pandas. What about other... I mean, I see the connection here.
What size t-shirt do I wear? 2X or just 1X?
Because the big reason that they came up with this great ape lie is to...
There's non-native deer there?
Push evolution and to make people think that evolution is real and then that humans can't...
Kangaroos are deer adjacent. In my head, kangaroos are Australian deer, basically. I know they're not, but that's how I think of them in my head. In the same kind of nuisance where, like, you're afraid you're going to hit them when you're driving in the dark in the middle of the night. I don't know.
Came from a monkey. That's why this deception exists. And so they try to tell us that these are closer to humans. So it's like I get why there would be more news stories about these things possibly getting the virus. But you get what I'm trying to say, that the media is just filled with the fake media animals. And how often do you see media stories about deers or squirrels or real life things? And yet there's endless media productions about all the fake apes. And
deer aren't endangered. Squirrels aren't in danger. Dread Pirate Mick, thanks for 100 bits, says, we do have deer. They're introduced and considered a pest species. Okay.
And sloths and platypus and panda and...
He only seems to believe in animals he's seen in person. Specifically, he has to see them in person, not in confinement, because he's been to zoos. He has seen gorillas, to my knowledge. He just thinks they're people in suits. So if you present him an animal in more or less its natural habitat or roaming around a neighborhood, He believes that animal's real. If you present him an animal in a cage, he believes that animal is fake. Yes, he used deers as a plural.
If you haven't watched it, I have a video on top 10 fake animals, so maybe that's a good place to start. This hoax could threaten endangered great apes, scientists warn. They'll just be endless with the propaganda. And pay attention to the signs and the symbols. The devil is in the detail. That's because satanic people, they hide their communications in the details. That's why it's the devil is in the detail. Hope you enjoyed the video. God bless everyone.
Chibbers the squirrel with 100 bits says, wait, so all those videos of gorillas eating or throwing their own poop, he doesn't think? Oh yeah. Yeah, he does. He thinks it's special effects. Yeah, Hans is, an interesting fella, to say the least. So that's what he's been up to.
Hello again. Just one more thing today. So
This is April. April believes she is a targeted individual. For those who don't know what targeted individuals are, this one's actually pretty sad. Targeted individuals are people who often have some sort of paranoia issues. Could come in the form of some kind of, like, schizophrenia or schizotypal personality disorder. Like, there's a variety of things. She basically believes that she's being followed all the time and stalked by governments. I'm not very clear on exactly what it is, but we'll watch a little bit of this. I'm not going to make fun of it. It's just interesting.
Hello again. Just one more thing today. So I was reading a book. I'm going to flip the camera around real quick so I can show you exactly what it is I'm reading. This book is called Unbound, A Practical Guide to Deliverance from Neil Lozano. One of my cleaning clients gave this to me, and I haven't really had a chance to pick it up. I have to give it back to her, so I was getting ready to put it in my vehicle to make sure I didn't forget to bring it to her. And you know, it's funny how God talks to us sometimes, and he talks to us through things, and when you open a book, or sometimes there's just something there that's meant just for you. And this is exactly what I opened up to today with regard to the video that I made earlier about people being very rude and mean to people in church because they want to make them feel like they don't belong. Well, this is the thing. So this is exactly what I was said as a time of testing, and people will do this to you to see if you're really firmly rooted in God, in Christ. So, and this paragraph, or this part of the book, this little thing that I'm going to read to you, it just says, remember, Satan is a thief and a liar. Jesus used a seed planting metaphor.
Let me see if she gets into her actual stuff or if she's just doing a Bible-y thing here.
Us and robs us of the gift of God. The ways he keeps the sick and was dead, and then she went.
Nah, she just must talk about the Bible in that one.
Good morning, folks. It's been a little while since I've talked to you guys, but I've been very, very, very busy. Regardless of that, I am talking today about spiritual warfare and what Christians need to do, and who the real enemy is. The enemy is not each other. The enemy resides within us. It is our human nature. It is Satan that takes different forms in our life and works through people. I could tell you, we're coming up on Halloween, which is probably the most unholiest time of the year for Christians. The evil is running rampant in our world because we're allowing it. And Christians, we need to stand up. We need to start fighting in the right ways and stop fighting each other, but start fighting spiritually how God has taught us to fight. So spiritual battle is something that happens when we completely become dependent on God and rely on Him to fight for us. We have to call on His holy name and ask Him for assistance to call His army into play. And believe me, when that happens, all hell erupts around us, but we're still protected. But everybody that's trying to harm you will be taken out. It's just the way it is. It's happened time and time again through the Bible, over and over again. Deborah in the Bible was a prime example of how she led an army into battle that was not fit for battle and against the Syrians. And they took over, and God awarded them victory. Not fighting each other, and it's not, and is really in our face. And we really need to step up and counter that.
She's talking more about Christian stuff nowadays. It's still not good and still sounds paranoid, but hopefully it's not as bad as it used to be.
Rise up out from the grave like Lazarus.
That's just her singing. Hopefully she's focusing more on the Jesus-y thing, which still isn't good, I don't think, but yeah. In terms of delusions, it's a less destructive delusion, I think, so that's probably good. Alright, let's find something that's actually funny and not just sad. Maybe Call? What's Call doing? Oh, yeah. Blackwing Hecate says at least she's a better singer than Danzy. True. So Call for an Uprising has a brand new video. I don't know if you guys were familiar, but there's a new show on Netflix, I believe, called Inside Job. Inside Job is an adult animated comedy that deals with people who work at a government agency, a fictional government agency, that basically is behind all of the traditional conspiracy theories. It's a show making fun of conspiracy theorists and how the world would look if all the conspiracy theories were true, and what a government agency might look like that deals with covering up all sorts of conspiracies. Funny premise for a show. Haven't seen it, so I don't know if it's any good. I'm not speaking to the quality of the show whatsoever. But to anyone else, obviously, it's a joke, right? It's a comedy show that's about a ridiculous premise. What if all the wackadoo conspiracy theories that people believed in on the internet were real? And what would that look like? And that's the premise of the show. Call has taken this badly. He's taken this badly, so let's watch this video on it. Please watch this. Let me see what it is.
Guy who's been with thousands of women.
Oh, this is a clip from the show, I think.
Guy who's been with thousands of women. You really don't seem to know what you're doing down there.
What is this, mind games?
This is an honest conversation with a woman.
Stop! It's torture!
Pretty good. Alright, Blackwing Hecate says it's hilarious. I'll have to check it out. Hydrate.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Many of you asked me to check out this show on Netflix. I try to do my best when you make requests to try and actually do it. Sometimes it's pretty hard to sit through a lot of this stuff. A lot of these are series, so there's a lot of episodes. But there's a show called Inside Job. Might as well replace the word inside with, well, another word I could think of, because that's what this is. This is just a really, really...
Blow or hand? Because those are both good.
Crappy job by Netflix, as always, but the show is, of course, about conspiracy theories, making fun of conspiracies, bringing light to truth, and then mocking it. And, of course, they need to go after these younger generations to continue to make these kids, these teens, and I get it, the show's probably geared towards teens. It's hard to even tell at this point with these cartoons.
Blackwing Hecate says, I think he meant con. I guess my head's in the gutter.
Because we have adults who watch cartoons, and I'm not passing judgment, or, you know, maybe I'm making fun a little bit.
I'm pretty sure the show's rated. Let's see what the rating is. I don't need the cast, I need the rating. I'm guessing whatever the TV equivalent of PG-13 is. Should to guess, though? Let me see.
Look, Dad, as long as you're living with me,
TVMA.
First,
what's the recommended age for TVMA? TVMA meaning mature audiences, specifically designed to be viewed by adults and therefore may be unsuitable for children under 17. So 17, 18, 19, sure, but other than that, it's for adults.
But we have adults who are, 40 years old, watch cartoons. So, when I...
Call, do you watch anything fun at all? I'm not telling you have to watch cartoons. It's fine if you don't like cartoons. But, like, it's a little weird how you seem to shit on everything that's fun ever, and then you wonder why your life is dog shit. Stormfox says, an inside job, the Flat Earth conspiracy theory is still fake. Also, if you show Call Castlevania, he would think it's for kids too, probably. Narnandia Owl says, of course Call has the boomer take that all cartoons are automatically for kids.
I see a cartoon, I automatically think it's geared towards kids, but it's really, I guess, geared towards teens and the older crowd, 20-year-olds, I guess, if you want to call that old. And what it does is it just mocks conspiracies. It brings truth to light because they talk about these topics which are true, which if anybody has eyes and they can see what's going on in the world today, everything that all of us have been exposing for so many years is actually happening.
Is that guy getting high off of chemtrails? That's pretty funny. Speedy Yoshi says, one of the main characters is an alien mushroom that lives inside the hollow earth and is milked.
I mean, it's actually come true, yet we're still crazy tinfoil hat wearer.
Sorry, I missed a thing. Blackwing Hecate says, although the thing that came to my mind was the line from Hedwig and the Angry Inch, the type of job we call blow. Jesus.
Conspiracy theorists, and obviously what we've seen transpire over the last couple years, specifically since the outbreak started, is an obsession in the media. And of course, this goes back to pizza, the thing with the pizza. The obsession with the media of talking about conspiracies, bringing it up constantly.
Conspiracies get brought up more often nowadays because the prevalence of conspiracy theorists online has never been more evident, and it's starting to leak into real-world political discussions, and it's really disconcerting. Like, seriously, people are talking about conspiracy theorists because one of the major political parties in this country, the country with most of the nukes, is legitimately completely driven by conspiracy and falsehood. That's why it gets brought up so often.
Because they need to deflect, whereas in the past, they wouldn't even bring attention to any of this stuff because they would go, oh, they're just crazy conspiracy people. Why even give them attention? Well, now they need to give attention to all of us because everything has come to pass, and they have to deflect.
No, Call, nothing has come to pass. You're just starting to actually influence people, and that's really fucking annoying for people who live in a little place I like to call reality.
And convince these stupider generations that we're crazy, even though everything that's happening is what we said. So this show, I'm going to show you the trailer. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it or heard about it already because a lot of you have commented about it. This is the plot synopsis here. Lizard people, ? Real. The moon landing, fake. Managing the world's conspiracies, a full-time job for an awkward genius and her dysfunctional co-workers. Take a look at the trailer. You'll see all the stuff in there. You'll see mentions of chems. You'll see mentions of, well, just take a look at this disaster of a show.
Have you ever wondered who really runs the world? Everything you know is a lie.
This manages every conspiracy in the world. Can you manage to show up on time?
These people are trying to push you out of the company just like you did to me.
Dad, you weren't pushed out. You were fired. You almost exposed the deep state because you wanted a ride to Wetzel's Pretzels. You're lucky I called the snipers off.
Drone, bro!
What the hell? Are you all high?
What's that?
Oh, God. Wake up, sheeple! HR was right about one thing. I am difficult.
Bring it! Bring it!
You do want to take over the world, right?
Everyone wants that.
I don't think they're being honest with us about who's really in control.
So They do this constantly. Obviously, you can't look at it and be offended.
Looks like he hasn't watched any of the shows based on the screenshots not showing progress. I'll have to check it out at some point. I think it looks potentially funny, but adult animation can be pretty hit or miss. Crimsy Omega says you should check this dude out. Alright, we can watch that in a little bit. Thank you. I always appreciate new conspiracy people, by the way, so if anyone ever has a suggestion, feel free to send it my way.
At this point, and be like, oh, they're making
the show's called Inside Job.
Fun of us. I mean, we're not like the people on the left who you can't poke fun at them or anything like that, or, they want to censor you. I don't care that they do stuff like this.
Call, you don't get censored for poking fun of people on the left. You can do that. You get censored, air quote, for breaking TOS of YouTube by spreading misinformation and being transphobic. That's why you get your channels removed and videos removed.
Problem with stuff like this is what gets people to be desensitized and then think that all of this stuff is an actual joke, the way they word
it is
stuff, right? Instead of talking about demonic possession and those types of things, lizard people, right? And these are some of the topics that they talk about on the show. These are some of the first episodes. They talk about, let's see here, cloning people. You saw in the trailer, people frozen. These are all things that are actually go on. They talk about it nonstop, which just shows you that there's truth behind it. They talk about blue bloods after lizard people.
Wait, there's truth behind it because they're talking about something in a fictional show? Fiction cited as fact on the bingo card. Logarth says, my favorite conspiracy theory is that everything is going to be okay. Yeah, that's one I could never wrap my head around.
People. After a lizard people-related PR disaster, the team must do damage control at the swanky Reptoid Gala, where hugs are required. I mean, just ridiculous crap. I mean, if people don't see what they're trying to do, and people are like, well, they're just trying to make a show and entertain people.
That's literally what they're doing. They're making fun of people like you, which people like me find entertaining, as does my audience, because you're funny, because you're a joke.
It's like they are so obsessed with us, so obsessed with conspiracies, and of course they love taking stuff and then making it overly dramatic, right? Like bloodline. Well, there are bloodlines.
They keep acting like we're stupid, like we believe in bloodlines, except there are evil secret bloodlines. Why do they not take us seriously?
This is factual. You could go in these websites like Ancestry and type in the bloodlines of these people, who of course use different names, but type in the bloodlines of...
Just type in these bloodlines. Yeah, their family names are completely different, and they don't say they're connected, but my brain tells me otherwise, and my brain has never lied to me. It would tell me if it did, and if it didn't, I would know, because even I know what's going on behind my brain's back. That's how I assume his inner monologue goes.
The Kennedys, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, all of these elite bloodlines, and then see what they run and they control, right? People are like, the DuPonts control all the chemicals. Where do you think all the chemicals that they dump in the food comes from? Or from the sky?
Okay, if you don't like monopolies and large corporate oligarchy, your issue is with capitalism, not secret societies and conspiracies. It's a fundamental system that dictates the function and organization of all of our lives. It's not doing great. Not a conspiracy. Just a shitty system operated by even shittier people.
Right? Then you got other episodes about robots. You got episodes in there about, of course, My Big Flat Earth Wedding. So they have the flat earth in there. Ghost protocols. Talking about, demon possession, making light of that. Let's see, they have,
Blackwing Hackety says, this is Call's brain talking to Call's brain.
I've
Everything that we know and love is reducible to the absurd acts of animals. And there is therefore no intrinsic value in this material universe.
Hypocrite that you are, for you trust the chemicals in your brain to tell you they are chemicals. All knowledge is ultimately based on that which we cannot prove. Will you fight, or will you perish like a dog?
Moon landing stuff, I mean, just, you know, colonizations in other countries, of course, and then you saw stuff in the trailer as well. I mean, this is what they do it for. They don't do it for any other reason than to deflect. And then this is how this is what you do to get people to automatically dismiss conspiracy, right? These are triggers that are created in people's minds. This is how mind control works.
Cole, have you considered that people sort of implicitly find these claims to be silly in the first place, which is why it's such fertile soil for comedy? Again, haven't seen the show, can't say if it's good or not, but at the very least, as a premise for a show, it's a good idea, because most people, by and large, have heard of people believing ridiculous conspiracy theories because it's so prevalent online. So making it the premise of a show, people already find you conspiracy nuts hilarious, makes sense. Again, you don't have to like the show, don't know if the show's funny, haven't seen it. But the show doesn't need a conspiracy to exist. Its existence makes total sense, just making fun of you because you're funny. That's it. It's why I have a job, is because people like you exist. Like, you, Peter, all the people on Chudwatch that I watch, like, you're funny. You're kind of inherently funny. It's why there's an audience for material like me. It's not a conspiracy. Like, maybe it... Hold on. I was waiting for this. It's not a conspiracy call. Why would it be a conspiracy? I don't know if I showed you guys this. I got a henna tattoo for Halloween. I did a call for an uprising Illuminati symbol. Seriously, though. You're just funny.
Of course, the zombies out there will just say, oh, you know, and you saw the sheeple, right? Of course, making light of sheeple. You know, all the terms that most people who are, you know, delve into conspiracies talk about. And they make light of all of it, and then they use a lot of the terms and make them trigger words for people, so they automatically just...
I like that he doesn't like that he got called out for the sheeple thing. He's like, no, but they're just trying to program you. You're still sheeple, even though that's a hilarious word. Sheeple. Not Andy Owl says, Hannah be like...
It's free real estate.
Two Man says, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the show was just going to be a Rick and Morty styled SCP show, but I really enjoyed the main character. It's great. Oh, cool. I have to check it out.
Dismiss when they hear certain stuff. That's why I've been leaning towards just calling them zombies, which is what these people are turning into anyway if they get more of that graph in them. But we live among zombies. I mean, that's the reality of the world we live in. We also live in a world where the younger generations are so arrogant and prideful. I mean, these are
Boomer!
They're like teenagers who don't have jobs. Their mommy and daddy take care of them.
What do you do for a living again, Call? Is it this?
And they keyboard warriors on the internet and stuff like that, and they want to censor.
Call? What do you think you're doing?
Everyone. They're just prideful. They think that they know all the answers. And the same goes for a lot of...
No. I know very little, but I know enough to know that you're full of shit, Call. You're very, very wrong. I'm incredibly wrong about a lot of things, too. One thing I am not wrong about is the fact that you are wrong. It is the universal constant around which my entire existence revolves. That you are wrong at all times about everything. Glad we cleared that up.
These guys who are like in their 20s and 30s, you know, and college educated, not like any of us aren't college educated. Not that that means anything, because it's a total waste of time. But they're so prideful because, like I've said a million times, they've had this stuff beaten into their skulls, and they don't want to think that their life was, you know, all the stuff that they went through and all the training and the courses and all that stuff was worth nothing. But in reality, it was worth nothing. So this is what Netflix and these networks or, you know, streaming services are going to keep pumping out. Stuff like this. And like I said earlier in the video, there's a reason that there's been such an uptick in the mentioning of conspiracies. That's why so many of you are here.
Because there's been an uptick in the number of people who adhere to conspiracy thinking. It's not a hard thing to understand the correlation of.
Who are new to it. There's a lot of new people. That's why I constantly say, every day there's new...
Correlation isn't causation on the bingo card, or correlation confused for causation on the bingo card.
New people that are suddenly feeling that something is wrong in the world because they see what's going on with the potion and everything else. And then they're jumping in here, right? And they're going, hey, well, okay, let me see what this stuff is. A lot of you are deeply awakened and been awake for a long time, but you got to remember there's new people. There's every single day there's new people who are coming to my channel or other channels and are brand new to this. So they don't know a lot of this stuff. They don't know about mind control. They don't know none of it. And it's important to continually wake them up and
they should put a character that's like Call for an Uprising in this show. I think that'd be very funny. Blackwing Hecate says, Call puts out such I know I am, but what are you energy? I know, right? Netflix, hire me. I'll consult on the conspiracy show.
Show them all of this stuff. And this is the easiest basic thing to see, other than, of course, science and symbols, is when they constantly bring attention to this stuff, because this is just a basic form of human behavior, deflection, right? They're
So if they're ignoring your conspiracy theories, it's because you're too close and they can't let people be aware of what you've gotten to. And when they make fun of you directly and mock you to your face, then it's to try and discredit you because you're too close to the truth. It's almost like you're trying to form unfalsifiable claims that always put you in the best light possible and never allow you to consider whether or not your beliefs are true. It's very convenient. It's not very sound, but it's convenient.
Projecting and deflecting by bringing attention to this stuff, and then using humor, constantly using humor. Like you hear Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, every single night bringing attention to conspiracies, doing skits with tinfoil hats, talking about conspiracy theories. This never used to be the case. But since so much has happened in the last 5 or 6 years, since light is being shed on darkness, and these people are coming out of the woodwork. This is their tactic that they're using to make sure that the youth out there laughs at this stuff and shakes it off and goes, it's a stupid conspiracy, because it creates triggers in their mind. So this is inside job. It's a total bomb, and look, you could like whatever you want to like, but this, it's just garbage. It's garbage content, and it's strictly there for the purpose of conditioning people. That's all that these shows are put out there for. Any of these shows and these skits that are done about conspiracies are there to create triggers in people's minds, to deflect and project their BS on everybody.
Is that supposed to be Frozen Avril Lavigne? Is this referencing the Avril Lavigne conspiracy? Because that's actually pretty funny.
Everybody else. And it works. That's the sad thing about it. It unfortunately works. But if people started using critical thinking, they would realize why they're doing this, the purpose for it all, that they're,
Call, you don't understand why they're doing this. They're doing this because you're funny. You are inherently funny. Because you are wrong. Often. Buggy Washair, thank you for following.
The purpose for all of them constantly bring attention to it. Not because...
Stephen J. Neptune Man says, Call uses critical thinking. Yes. D1, like on a D20, critical failure thinking. He didn't say what kind of critical it was.
Because it's a ratings magnet.
That was a little bit of a messy D&D joke, but yeah, I'll let that one stand.
We're talking about conspiracy because it's so popular. It's because so many people are waking up because they can't hide what they're doing anymore. They don't hide it. It's all in front of our faces. All of it. So, this is Inside Job on Netflix. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the Patreons because you keeps me here on YouTube. So please consider becoming one if you're not. And again, a reminder, check out the website at callforanuprising.com. It's well worth it. Check it out if you haven't. And I appreciate all of you for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families.
X Flowers for Brain says, I just like how Colin, many like him, seem to have a good way for promoting Netflix shows. Subscribe to Netflix, watch a show, get scared or mad at the show and make a conspiracy, or just complain about the show online. Felix Night Owl says, the mountain of irony in Call talking about critical thinking. And Tube Man says the creator of the show was a writer on Gravity Falls, so making fun of conspiracies is a normal thing for them. Oh, I love Gravity Falls. That makes sense then. Probably is good. I'll have to check it out. Gravity Falls is another good show that kind of delves into conspiracy, supernatural stuff in a funny way. It is a kid show, but I think it's watchable for adults. Morok says, I think the art on the show is cute. May look into it. Thanks, Call. Isn't Call so good for picking out new shows? So that's what he's been up to. Same old, same old. Maybe some short stuff with conspiracy vibes. Oh my god. I hate. Blackwing Hecate says, I read really good Gravity Falls porn parody lately. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you. Hydrate.
Morbid Facts, Part 202. In a 1974 art performance, Marina Abramovich told visitors she wouldn't move for 6 hours no matter what they did to her. She placed 72 items on a table and invited people to use them on her however they pleased with no punishment. There were objects for pleasure including a rose, perfume, and wine, as well as objects for pain including scissors, a whip, and a loaded gun. Visitors were gentle to begin with, but gradually got more aggressive as they became comfortable. Within 3 hours, all of her clothes had been completely cut off, and some people even started slicing her skin. She was sexually assaulted various times and had rose thorns stuck in her abdomen. One person even held a gun to her head until someone else took it away. Afterwards, Abramovich said, if you leave it up to the audience, they can kill you.
That's not a conspiracy, that's just a fucked up thing that happened. I remember reading about that.
Vampire conspiracy theories. I'm sorry, but there's 7.674 billion people on this planet, and you think there aren't vampires? There have been...
Correct, I don't think there are vampires, you stupid asshole. Maps and mimics for Blackwing Hecate. If it'll load. There are billions of people on this planet. You think none of them are vampires? That would be like me saying, there are billions of people on this planet. You think none of them are leprechauns? There are billions of people on this planet. You think none of them are mermaids? There are billions of people on this planet. You think none of them is Johnny Bravo? Like, yeah, there are billions of people. People being the important word. None of them are vampires.
Been countless cases of people said to be vampire. One of the most famous cases is the story of the New England vampire panic, and that's where I'm from.
Tube Man with 40 bits.
Coincidence? I think not.
200 years after the Salem witch trials, farmers became convinced that their relatives were returning from the grave to feed on the living. Children were playing near a hillside grave mine and found the graves first. One ran home to tell his mother, who was skeptical at first until the boy came back with a skull. Police initially thought that the burials might be the work of a local serial killer named Michael Russ. They taped off the area as a crime scene, but the bones turned out to be more than a century old. New England is full of unmarked family plots, and the 29 burials found were typical of the 1700s and early 1800s, except for burial number 4. It was one of the only 2 stone crypts in the cemetery, and it was partially visible from the mine. Long story short, researchers thought everything was really suspicious, so they started studying. They found out that there have been at least 80 documented vampire exhumations and hundreds more that are waiting to be discovered. There's so much...
Oh, go fuck yourself. I hate TikTok. Blackwing Hecate says, I mean, there are vampires. They're called arch-capitalists. Also, I'm asexual. I don't get horny. Morok says, I have a blood fetish. Is that what they mean? No. That is definitely not being a vampire. Mike Mack says, can you do the JFK Jr. QAnon meeting? Also, I found out they added a Mexican character in Fortnite. And I'm happy, even though I don't play the game. The character is called El Chapulín Colorado, or in English, the Red Grasshopper. Oh, nice. I don't know how much I even have to say about the JFK JFK Jr. QAnon. This isn't like a full segment, but this is a real thing that happened. So I don't know where it came from, but a bunch of QAnon people got the idea that JFK Jr., who has been dead since the 90s, who they believe is on their side for some reason, they believe he was going to reveal that he's secretly alive and working with Trump yesterday. So a bunch of QAnon idiots showed up to the grassy knoll, like around where JFK got shot, to meet JFK Jr. Surprise, nothing happened. No one showed up. Here's a video. Look at all these idiots. Look at how many of these people showed up for this shit. Seriously, you're gonna be so disappointed.
It is almost 12:29. Any minute now, the big reveal. The crowd is big, ready to go.
They then slowly, you know, as the minutes wore on, left as it became apparent that JFK Jr. was not going to be making an appearance. Yeah, fucking ridiculous. Logarth says, this is actually true. Both native burial areas and colonial area graveyards are all over the place in New England, and people find bone fragments and old headstones a lot when they develop land. I know this because I work in development and hear and see things all the time. Yeah, but they weren't vampires. ZeroM80 says, yeah, I deleted TikTok off my phone. Why would JFK Jr. appear where his father got killed? You're trying to think about this, and that's where you're, like, missing the QAnon logic. You can't think about it. It's just like random associations in your brain of things, and then you just go with it. Reminds you of the Internet Historian video about Harold camping. That's a great video, if anyone hasn't seen it. These are delicious. It's like eating a bunch of little potatoes. Alright. Let's do this video. It is gnocchi. So this video is entitled Squid Game. This is not a Netflix review. This is the real event! So this guy thinks Squid Game's real or something. And as far as I understand, not in, like, the metaphorical, you know, oh, it's about capitalism way, but, like, in a more literal way, or he thinks it's about coronavirus or something. Thank you, Baja, for making dinner. That's certainly an intro.
If you are watching this video, make sure you add me on Instagram right now at Ralph Smart. Make sure you add me on Instagram at official Ralph Smart. Pull out your phone, deep divers, add me right now on Instagram at Ralph Smart. Because after this video, I'm not sure if YouTube is still going to be around. We got a whole lot to talk about, deep divers. Raising the frequency, raising the vibration. Breathe in that good ass prana with me. Let's go. Woo! Breathing in that good.
I think I'd rather Shabambu than I'd like to do whatever thing he's doing.
Das prana, baby. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers. We are out here in the heart of nature. Another marvelous day. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're getting your butt into nature. Take that, take that, take that. Good ass energy I'm sending you. Squid Game. Let's talk about it. This huge global Netflix hit. This is not a review. This is the real event. Like, life is becoming Squid Game. And
that is the point. It's not just a show. It's a show about something.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Squid Game.
Mike Mack says, I remember this guy. He also thinks words are spells and saying good morning is bad because morning is actually mourning, as in M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. Ooh.
Without giving it away.
Morak says stops breathing just to piss this guy off.
Is about these indebted people who have nothing, who feel they have nothing, and who get offered to play the Squid Game. And they first believe that, okay, there'll be no consequences, I'll just sign up. But later on, if they lose, they die. So it's a matter of life or death. And it is really the story of what's happening right now in the world. It's a Squid Game. Now, when I actually saw an interview with the director, he actually said, we are living in a Squid Game world. Let me repeat that. We are living in a Squid Game world.
By which he meant capitalism, not whatever you're about to say, probably. Blackwing Hecate says, no thank you, I will not partake in your ass energy, regardless of if it's good or not. Narnandia Owl says, someone really wants to stretch out his videos and constantly reminding people about his Instagram. Tea with Goblin says, sorry, I'm a bit slow on the mark here, but I really recommend Carla Valentine and her channel, The Chick and the Dead. She's a pathologist and historian. And in this video, she explains some of the scientific explanation for things like vampirism. Spoiler, it was probably porphyria. Thank you. Felix Night Owl says, it irritates me so much when people talk about vibrations. Sorry if anyone out there is spiritual, but what the fuck are vibrations? Yeah, it doesn't mean a whole lot. Kinda just means your vibe. Narnandia Owl says, you're a kid, you're a squid.
And
what are we, some kind of Squid Game?
This is fascinating, because once again, the Squid Game is all about people who are in debt, and they get offered to play a game, and if they lose, they die, and the reward is $38 billion, a huge cash prize, right? But if you lose, you are eliminated with death. So I'm gonna dive deep into this and tell you why we're living in the Squid Game world. This is not a review. This is not a review.
Yeah,
this
you said
is
that.
The real event. In the words of Ralph Smart, we live in a world so fake, the truth actually scares people. Slow motion this side. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there?
This guy's super annoying.
So the Squid Game, these people are tricked into believing that
woo me.
All they have to do is play these children's games and red light, green light, and they can win this money. But they don't realize what they're really signing up for. Later on they do. Later on they realize it's a matter of life or death. And they can't afford to lose, because if they do, they're going to be out of here. But a funny thing happens is that as the series goes on...
Morak gets the 25k bits badge. Thank you. Narnandia Owl says, in the words of Ralph Smart, how humble of him. Oh my god! Did he quote himself? Holy fucking shit!
On one of them votes to say, actually, let's leave. And when they do, they realize that life on the outside is not much different, because this South Korean series takes place in this remote private environment. So they actually willingly want to come back to the Squid Game. So when I was watching this as a psychologist, I'm realizing that we are living...
Oh God, is he a psychologist? Does he have an actual degree? Oh no. Oh God, he's got a clothing line. What? Bardluck Moses, thanks for gifting a sub. Stephen J. Neptune Man with 30 bits says, this guy is giving me serious Oswald Bates vibes. That's a deep cut reference from In Living Color. No idea if anyone will get that. I don't. 63% to level 1 of a new hype train. Hydrate. Doodleburb says, if I just drag out every word and take long-ass pauses, I can milk at least 3 more videos out of this. This guy, probably. Mike Max with a Khan Academy link. If it works. Getting started with logical reasoning. Is this the correct link? Or are you telling me I need to get started with logical reasoning? Wrong link? Okay. Hood E, thanks for gifting a sub. Appreciate it. Oh God, he's got another video. Secret spells of the English language. I'll save that for another time.
Wonderful world. In a Squid Game.
Oh, sorry, I missed Tea with Goblins' bits. Tea with Goblins said, because we're living in a Squiddy Game world, and I am Squiddy Game girl, because we are living in a Squiddy Game world, and I am a Squiddy Game girl. Oh. He's the chiropractor of psychologists.
Game right now, in this global pandemic, this new world order, this 1984 Orwellian state. In 1984, they say, if you want a vision of the future, imagine a boot stamping on it.
Remember how in 1984 they were like, hey, you can live your life however you want and do whatever you want. But like, you should take this medicine that'll help you not get sick. But other than that, you know, keep going how you've been going. You know how 1984 goes?
A human face forever. That's similar to what the Squid Game is about. Now, there are themes we got to go over. But first and foremost, when I look at TikTok deep divers, I'm like, wait a minute, this is the Squid Game of our generation. Because a lot of people think it's all sweet, right? We're just singing, but like I told you, social media is not real life. It's part of the illusion, part of the Squid Game. Jin Kid, this famous TikToker, he used to do impressions.
That's Brave New World, not 1984. Also not quite Brave New World. The Soma was not preventative medicine. It was a drug that made them, you know, neutral.
Of like Scarface, 6ix9ine, the rapper. He actually killed his girlfriend, his wife. Right? Because she wanted to divorce him. And he actually killed another guy. This is real life.
Okay, what?
And
non sequitur?
He actually put an iPad in their apartment to spy on them, to spy on her, and he actually heard them over talking, her and a friend. So he actually went to the apartment and killed them. Now, on one of her videos on TikTok, she's actually dancing with him and saying this is a beautiful relationship.
The fuck does this have to do with Squid Game?
But that's the TikTok reality. Behind the scenes, there was something going on. She wanted to put a restraining order on him.
We had Science Fiction as fact earlier, actually, so we do have that on the bingo card.
So, a lot of what you see on TikTok, on social media, is not real life. What's going on behind the scenes is totally different. And that's why I told you, be careful of these games that they give you. TikTok, Facebook, which is now Meta, right? Because...
No, Facebook is still Facebook, but the company that owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp is called Meta, but Facebook is still Facebook.
A lot of people get sucked into the illusion. They become these characters. Me, I've been real since day one. Slow motion this side. Now,
what the fuck is this guy's personality?
Squid Game. This is not a review. This is the real event.
9%
We are
level
living
2.
in the Squid Game world. Let me tell you this. In Squid Game, you have these controllers, right? People who are conducting these games, the experimenters. So, just like in today's world, with this global pandemic, you got the Faucis, the Bill Gates, you've got control.
Oh my god. Fucking Squid Game is not about Fauci. It's about capitalism. So you could say Bill Gates in the sense that Bill Gates is a billionaire who owns large stakes in multinational companies, but not Fauci. What are you fucking talking about? It's not about COVID, you dumb asshole. Logarth says, this isn't Squid Game, it's Centrifugal Bumble Puppy. 0M80, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. That sub goal has not moved at all. I need to fix that. Bloodwine TTRPG says, this guy seems like he pursues you if you try to leave the conversation. Maps and Mimic says, this dude seems like such a fake manufactured personality grifter. No kidding. 46% to level 3.
Controllers, people who are controlling this game, these illusions, they're keeping this matrix going. And we got to remind ourselves that from the moment you were born, they said, hey, you can sign here for the Squid Game or for the Matrix or for this reality. And they said, just sign up. But they didn't tell you to read the small print. They didn't tell you that most people are selling their soul when they sign up to be a part of this society. They didn't tell you that you're going to be force-fed his story. It's not yours. That's why it's called his story.
No, it's not. I hate this. That is not the etymology of history. Fucking fuck. Blackwing Hecate says it's not Squid Game. It's Paradox Billiards. Vostroyan Roulette, 4th Dimensional Hypercube Chess Strip Poker.
They didn't tell you that.
Stone Corbell says he didn't sign up for it. You're born into it. Crimsy Omega says they didn't tell me shit. And Sky Comet Fallen asks, what's Peter up to? Nothing interesting, honestly, which is why we haven't covered him.
School is gonna brainwash you.
School is gonna brainwash you, man, with all those things like math and science. Fuck that shit. When am I ever gonna use those things?
And make you believe a certain narrative.
Broadly gestures at everything.
About the world, which...
Slowdog52, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs.
Isn't true. So, many people, without even knowing they have enrolled
I did already cover JFK
in the Squid
Jr.
Game or in the Matrix in real life, from the moment you were born. Now, many people, just like in the Squid Game, become aware.
Whoa, Kingdom Reborn, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs.
Off the illusion.
Very generous of you and much appreciated.
That money is the illusion.
Wow, this sub counter really is broken. We must have gotten, by the way, I'll check the amount of subs manually and fix this, because I want these subs to count, because I'm so sick of this sub counter not ever working, and it makes it look like I never hit my goal, when in reality I have like almost 1,000 subscribers or something like that. So, I'll make sure this gets manually fixed, so it counts all these subs, because we must have gotten 20 today, or something like that. Blackwing Hecate says, I've started taking the red pill, but I still have yet to see holes dug by lapines, and I don't know how far down they dig beneath the ground. Lapines, lapines, lapines. I don't get it.
Red carpet is the illusion.
I got 20 in the past 3 minutes. Yeah, I'll manually check, and I'll figure out some other way of counting subs, because I'm sick of it not showing, and I apologize for that.
Everything society promises
Rabbits.
you is the illusion. However, people still, just like in the Squid Game, they willingly go on with it because they think, hey, this is the only way I can make it out.
Alright, this guy sucks. I'm giving up on this guy, I'm sorry. He just sucks. 140% to level 5. Thanks, everyone, for getting us to another level 5 hype train today. Appreciate it. Okay, someone just sent me this guy a little bit ago. Red alert. Rapture ready. Blood, fire, and smoke. Let's see what this grizzled mountain man has to say. I'm sure he'll be very reasonable.
Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. It's Pastor Tim. I've got... This just really gets me excited. And I want to talk about what the Bible says in Acts chapter 2, verses 17 to 21. I'm going to read that for us. In the last days, and we are in the final moments of the end of days, praise God. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Your old men will dream dreams. Even on my servants, both men and women, I will pour out my spirit in those days, and they will prophesy. I will show wonders in the heavens above and signs on the earth below.
There have always been people who've claimed to see visions and dreams of the future. There have always been people who claim to see signs in the heavens. This is not exclusive to this era or any other.
Blood and fire and billows of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming.
Red moons or harvest moons happen regularly. Solar eclipses happen regularly, depending on where you are on Earth. What was the other one? Blood, fire, and smoke? That just sounds like general human shittiness. That's also not exclusive to any era.
Coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. And everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Praise God. You know, I want to focus on that first. We believe in the eternally self-existing God in the persons of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
That's fine if you do that, but there's not really evidence for it. Is he just going to do a sermon? Because that's not interesting.
Spirit, saved, sealed, and sanctified until the day of redemption.
Missed Blackwing Hecate's bits again, sorry.
John 3:16 says
Blackwing Hecate says I'm diagnosing him as having severe diarrhea of the mouth.
That he gave his only begotten.
Slow Dog says, in the 7 days of creation can actually be eons. Couldn't the last days last for millions of years? People like this tend to believe in literal 6-day creation. So,
Son, that whosoever believeth in him. We know that volcanoes are erupting simultaneously around the world. Look at La Palma, the Spanish Canary Islands. In fact, people are being forced to stay in their house because of the fumes from the eruptions. In the thumbnail,
yeah, volcanoes suck. The funny thing about volcanoes is the more they blow, the more they suck. Eh? No? There's a joke in there, someone. Someone make that funny. Do my job for me. What else we got? Oh, this one's good. All right, let's look at this real quick. This is a article from that air quote news website, Real Raw News. This is a news... Again, it's not news. It's all fake. This is a fan fiction website that poses as news for QAnon people. So it's basically all bullshit. Blackwing Hecate says volcanoes don't suck, they blow. There you go. That's a joke. So this bullshit article from the bullshit website says, U.S. Marine Corps mulls defecting from, quote, traitorous armed forces. So this is about Real Raw News claiming that the Marines are thinking of, quote, seceding from the armed forces. Which I don't know if you know anything about anything. That is not a thing that you can do. One branch of the armed forces cannot decide that they are no longer part of the armed forces and take all their guns and equipment and just become their own thing. So let's read the article, shall we? General Davis H. Berger, Commandant of the U.S. Marine Corps, said his beloved corps may have to divorce itself from the U.S. Armed Forces unless his peers of the other branches rally against the, quote, illegitimate administration's unconstitutional COVID-19 vaccine mandates. That's right. This guy believes that the Marines are going to somehow seditiously remove themselves from the armed services because of a vaccine when soldiers already have vaccine mandates for a ridiculous number of other vaccines. Brilliant. Berger's comment came shortly after an article titled, "The Corps' COVID-19 vaccination deadline is coming. Marines who refuse will be booted," appeared on the Military Times website. The article, written by Philip Athay, an artificial intelligence algorithm and not a real person, said that the Marines not vaccinated by November 28th would be ejected from the Corps. It further threatens Marines with disciplinary action under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, emphatically saying general court-martial convening authorities will, quote, retain authority to take any additional adverse administrative or disciplinary action deemed appropriate. A liaison in General Berger's office told Real Raw News that the general neither made nor approved the inflammatory message. To the contrary, General Berger has condemned Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin's mandate instead of encouraging Marines to choose whether they and their families get vaccinated. The general is pissed because Austin is overwriting his messages to the Corps. General Berger has always stood for freedom, and he made that messaging clear to his men. Austin and the administration are subverting his authority from the get-go. The general told Marines he'd have their back if not they wanted to get their shots, sources said. Let me be clear. This article is claiming this is the general of the Marines doesn't understand how the chain of command works by claiming that Biden has taken his authority, even though Biden is higher in the chain of command than him. That's not how it works. The president doesn't take command away from a general. The president just has a higher rank in the military. Like, the commander-in-chief is a civilian commander of the military, basically. Kirthan says, with 100 bits, one of the top stories says Hillary Clinton was hanged. Yes, it does. Anyway. General Berger has grown irate at the heightened number of senior officers across branches of the armed forces who have endorsed the, quote, this is not my words, this is the article's, clot shot. Our sources added, although the Corps and the Special Operations community remained loyal to the, quote, true commander-in-chief, senior officers in the Air Force and the National Guard have pedestalized people like Kamala Harris, Anthony Fauci, and CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, with National Guard Lieutenant General John A. Jensen saying, biannual vaccines are a good idea if Dr. Fauci says so. Imagine listening to a doctor, that fool. Kirthan says one of the top... Oh, I read that one. MH Darkbeast says, Hannah, you need this part for a complete breakfast. Yes, it's real. Let me look. Strawberries and Scream. That's pretty good. Our sources said General Berger has considered seriously the notion of seceding from, quote, administration-controlled forces so that his Marines and the SOCOM community could operate autonomously to better protect law-abiding American citizens against encroaching totalitarianism. Again, I don't know if you know this, but you cannot secede from the military. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Quote, I don't think there's an exaggeration to say there's a 50-50 split amongst the nation's top brass right now, and it makes for a dangerous situation. The general had made a lot of calls as he tries to figure out where loyalties lie. He's a patriotic American, unlike some of the others, and he's not opposed to segregating his men to fight for what's right, our sources said. Playing devil's advocate, RRN asked General Berger wants freedom of choice in matters of the COVID-19 vaccine while the military still inoculates new recruits against measles, meningococcal meningitis, mumps, polio, rubella, tetanus, diphtheria. Quote, General Berger, generally speaking, opposes mandates, but these vaccines have been established over many, many decades, while the COVID vax was pushed after little testing and tens of thousands of vaccine deaths were broadly reported to the military, our sources said. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. I hate this website. Sky Comet Fallen says General Berger sounds like a fast food restaurant. No kidding. That's ridiculous. What other articles do they have? Navy SEALs raid cargo ship full of smuggled children. Massive flight cancellations due to, quote, vaccine deaths and employee resignations. Military convicts Chelsea Clinton. Chelsea Clinton Military Tribunal, Day 2. Alec Baldwin tried to pimp his preteen daughter in Ireland in 2007. Vaccinated pilots drop dead mid-flight. Hanks, former co-star Peter Scolari, executed by military. He actually died recently, so that's a fucked up thing to make a fucking article about. Slowdog52 says, what's a little light mutiny between friends? So is this role-playing or fanfic? It's a grift. It's a grift. Delta Force raids Adrenochrome warehouse. Colin Powell committed suicide is the title of this one. Hunter Biden hanged at Gitmo. More like Hunter Biden is hung at Gitmo. Am I right, people who have seen his penis? Felix Night Owl says, as a Marine veteran myself, this is complete bullshit. I was pumped full of vaccines. Berger isn't trying to do any of this shit. Also, Marines think they are way better than all other branches. If they could secede, they would. Peter made a new video. Yeah, he's done. Like a new one. Let me look. No, yeah, I know. I didn't find any of his newer videos interesting, which is why I don't think we're looking at him today. It's a shame about Scolari. Yeah, I really liked the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV show as a kid, and he played the dad in that, whose name I'm forgetting, Wayne Selinsky. So, it's a shame that he died. Why am I getting bonked? What did I do? How's the Patriot Podcast guy doing? Okay, the past couple days, because of the Virginia, I guess since yesterday, rather, since, the Republican, I believe, won in Virginia for governor. Other than that, pretty much the same old, same old. I think that's probably it for today. There isn't a ton of new conspiracy stuff out. Cece's kind of been in hiding. Peter doesn't have anything else good. Call's being boring. Sometime before next week, or either sometime before next week, or maybe for next week's Tinfoil Tuesday, we're probably going to go hunting for more conspiracy theorists again. Just because I still feel like the ones that we have are just aren't, they're just not as milkable. They don't have as much milk as they used to have. Someone's asking me what happened to Peter's Twitch channel. Did it get deleted? Hold on. Let me look. He should be in my list of people that I follow. Oh, did Peter get banned from Twitch? That'd be hilarious if Peter got banned from Twitch. No, he's right here. He's fine. He still has his channel.
I only announced this stream one time.
He hasn't posted in 6 days, though. Must have been busy or something. Anyway, let's see who we're going to raid. No, I didn't want Adam.
Because he...
Cirrus is in the final 15 hours of his uncapped subathon. So... Oh, God. Shut up. So, yeah. Go enjoy the last hours of Cirrus's... Holy shit, shut the fuck up. That widget keeps turning on automatically, and I hate it. Maps and Mimic says, thank you for getting me through my schoolwork, as always. Only a month and a half left of college. Oh, fun. Well, I'll be back tomorrow for more fun. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I guess we'll find out. That didn't work. Anyway, have a wonderful evening, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow. That's about it. Tell Cirrus I said hi. Later, everyone.
Take two.